Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, I'm very excited to be able to share with you an update and a little bit of a sneak peek of my new skincare line. Now, if you've been following this channel for some time, you'll probably remember about 9 months ago, I teased the idea that I was finally putting pen to paper and going to come up with fulfilling one of my life's dreams and ambitions, which was to design and create my own skincare line. I had some really big ideas and some big expectations and all of that. Let's just say some of those have been tempered and brought back a little bit as the process has gone on. But I wanted to share with you in this video a little bit, like I say, a first look of some of the products. There's still quite a way to go, and the launch date is looking to be Q3 this year, so there's still a little bit of way to go. But to tease that, and of course share with you some of the processes that actually went into creating a skincare line. It ain't as easy as you think. I didn't go into this expecting it to be easy. However, I think to say it was more complex than I thought might just be an understatement. Obviously, that's compounded with a lot of things that have been going on in the past year, which do make things a little bit more challenging. But do you know what? If it's an ambition, you've just got to put full pedal to the metal and actually get on and deliver it. So I'm going to be sharing with you today. So if you're interested in finding out more, keep on watching. I was so overwhelmed with all the kindness, the love and support from you guys when I first teased the idea that I was starting my own skincare line. When I did that, I think I had like 5,000 subscribers or something. I'll leave a link to a video up there if you want to check that out. And I was so nervous about how it would be received and what people's thoughts and feelings would be. Since then, this channel has just exploded, and I'm so kind for all the love and kindness that you guys show me every day. So I thought I wanted to give you a little bit of an update. I would have done that way before now, but you've got to wait for things like trademarks and some of the other things to come into place before you can actually share. Now that's all sealed and we're sorted, I want to be able to share with you a little bit more about the brand. Right, let's start off with the name. There's kind of two ways you can approach creating your own line. If you're a super megastar celebrity in this world, you usually get approached by companies who formulate these and will stick your name on a product and then call it yours and sell it. You get a cut of the profits, you're good to go. If you want to build something from the bottom up, it can be really difficult. You have to go right back to basics. So I employed a team of like creative consultants and designers to come up with concepts and ideas. They're big on the mood board. I must have seen about 500 mood boards and I still don't understand what they do. I don't get what the point of them is. Maybe it's just not my bag. I look at them and I think, it's like scrapbooking collage. I don't get this. So I try to work with them on coming up with like the concepts and things like that. We started out with the name. I wanted something different. So when I started this channel, I called it Mad About Skin, which as it's evolved, I'm not the biggest fan of the name, to be honest. I think it's fine. I'm just not the biggest fan. It's kind of stuck, and when you get given a brand and people buy into it, it's quite difficult to actually change. So I said to them, I just don't want to call it that. Let's come up with something creative and innovative. They came up with so many names, which weren't that great. And actually, one of the design consultants say, if you have a brand and if you have a name and if you have an image, why would you then change it? Because it makes it so much more difficult to then align the end product with your existing image and profile and brand, because you've got two different names. It just ends up a bit disjointed. I kind of never thought about it like that. So we did, in the end, after a heck of a lot of discussion and backing and forth on Zoom calls and all of that, mood board after mood board, come up with the idea, we're just going to call it Mad About Skin. So that was really well invested, was that money and that time and that discussion. But you know what? Sometimes you have to go through that process to get to where you want to be at the end. So we have the name, we've locked it down, we've secured things like websites and things like that for that, so we are good to go on that front. Then came the challenge of creating the brand, the image, and what you actually want the products to look like. This is where the mood boards really took over. And there were so many different ideas and things that people wanted to come in. One of the key things I really wanted from the start is to be able to give people the choice of the type of container that the product comes in. This is so, I know this sounds so trivial, and people will read me and say this is super trivial, because actually, who really cares what it comes in? It's the product that matters. And I always thought that. And then I started this channel and realized, trying new products, sometimes some people like things in a tub, some people like a pump, some people like a dropper. You've got to be able to offer people a little bit of choice. And it's actually super easy through this process I've learned to actually use the same container and just give people the option of a dropper or a pump. It's really easy, it's really simple, and it's something that makes such a difference to so many people depending on what their preference is. So that was a core thing we wanted to incorporate, which added a little bit of extra complexity when it came to the design. They came up with some brilliant designs, but none of them just felt right. I don't think any of them actually captured what I wanted for a brand or what I thought my brand should be and what it should represent. I think that's maybe because actually it's quite difficult to really tell people what you want when they're not bought into the brand, they're not bought into what you want to deliver in a meaningful way, and they maybe haven't followed the channel and things like that, so they don't understand. And so the stuff they came up with was really good, and it's not to shade the effort that went into it. It was so good, but it just wasn't right. You know when you see something, you're like, oh, I want that. And none of them really shouted out to me. Then a subscriber, actually, who is, a graphic designer, reached out and said, I'd love to share with you some of the things I've done, some of the designs for like brand work I've done, as like a thank you for when we smashed 20,000 subscribers on the channel. And I saw them, and I instantly fell in love. So I went back to the designers and said, yeah, I really like what you're doing, but actually it's taken a subscriber, somebody who has followed the channel for quite some time, to come up with the concept. I didn't even need to speak to them in terms of this. This was just such a lovely thing for them to reach out and do. And it just encapsulated everything that I wanted the brand to be. Simplistic, because I don't want it to be overly complicated. I don't think skincare should be. A little bit of a sciencey look to it, because I do think there's got to be science and reason and rationale behind the formulations behind it, but also fun and enjoyable and a little bit trendy, kind of all together. And they created some beautiful logos and imagery, which we can then take forward as the brand imagery. So I'm going to leave you an image of some of the things here. So just to give you a sneak peek of what things are going to look like, we want to go through the mock-up stage where the design, so I can show you them in person in the coming month. This is like the imagery of what we're going for and what it looks like. Any feedback that you've got, share below. I'd love to hear it. Of course, all these things are then going to be filled with quality products, which is what you're all here for. Let's cut to the chase and talk about the products that we're formulating. So all the products I'm talking about today are all cruelty-free. That just has to be as standard. So all of them cruelty-free, that's just a given. The majority of them are going to be vegan as well. I don't personally live a plant-based lifestyle, but I do think if you can minimize the amount of animal-derived products and things, it just makes it more accessible to more people. So there'll definitely be vegan options available to people. They're all colorant-free. I'm not a big fan of colorants in skincare. I don't think they're necessary. I don't think they add a lot. And if you want to give a look, to make something more appealing and add a color to it, add it to the packaging, and then you're not introducing a potential irritant into the formulation itself in the form of a colorant. Most importantly, and this is the most important thing for me, all of them are going to be hyaluronic acid and niacinamide free. Now, that's not because I actually don't like either of these ingredients. I think they're fantastic ingredients to have in your skincare routine. I just think we overdo it because every single product has hyaluronic acid and niacinamide in. It's almost impossible to avoid in your skincare routine. So we layer product after product with hyaluronic acid and niacinamide in, and we kind of overload our skin. I did a video on why too much hyaluronic acid can be a bad thing, so I'll leave a link to a video I did on that up there. Check that out if you want to know a little bit more behind that. But I thought if I take out the hyaluronic acid and take out the niacinamide, that leaves people free to then incorporate a standalone hyaluronic acid or niacinamide in their routine if they want. Also, I'm not suggesting in any way that everybody has to use just products from this skincare line. You're going to mix and match with your favorite brands and your other favorite products and throw it in, and they'll all probably have niacinamide and hyaluronic acid in anyway. So I don't think there's any need for the products that we formulate to actually contain hyaluronic acid or niacinamide, because you're going to be getting a hit of those fantastic ingredients somewhere else in your skincare routine. Now, in terms of the actual products launching, I would love to launch everything going. I think once you get into things, like the excitement takes over and you could just literally launch every single product. However, money is a factor. All of these individual products do take time to formulate, and working with an amazing team of cosmetic formulators who are so good. But obviously their time costs money, and to formulate these things does take time, money and energy, which obviously when you're trying to roll something out in a shorter period of time isn't always possible. So first off, 2 cleansers. You have to launch with 2 cleansers, I think, as a skincare brand, because people want the option between a balm cleanser and a foaming or a gel cleanser. In this case, we've gone for a universal balm cleanser. Universal because the oils which is formulated with are compatible for all skin types. This means if you have oily skin like myself, it's not going to clog and break you out. If you have dry skin, it's going to leave a layer of hydration behind, so you're not feeling totally stripped and dried from using it. I wanted it to be able to be formulated really well, to be able to use as a mask as well. This is something I love about the Oat Cleansing Balm when we talk about it from the Inculist. You can actually layer a thick layer of it on, and it acts almost like a hydrating mask, which is something I wanted the product to do. All these oils are beautiful, not just as a cleanser, but also as a mask, and so why not get the multi-purpose? I'm all about multi-purpose, spending your money and getting dual purpose from your products. So hopefully this will be fantastic for all skin types, and it'd be really well blended to give a gorgeous cleanse, but not leave behind a really thick layer of like oils that you sometimes get when you use a balm cleanser. cleanser. I've tried the initial like trial formulations of this and I've been super impressed for my oily skin. We've got to try it on a few drier skinned people as well, just to really develop this further to make sure it is truly universal. But that's definitely a product which is quite advanced in terms of its formulations. Then we come on to a gel cleanser. I love a gel or a cream cleanser, either as a standalone cleanse or as a second step in a double cleanse. Really, they should be able to do both. For me, I'm all about the natural saponins in products and natural surfactants and more gentle surfactants. You know, we used to reach for the SLSs of this world and they used to be so stripping, so drying and so unnecessary. Then we really looked to cream and gel cleansers that had more natural cleansing and cleaning agents in there, which didn't leave us so dried and stripped. So we're working on delivering a project which is going to be thoroughly cleansing, get rid of all that dirt, debris, SPF and old skincare that's on the skin, but not leave you too stripped and dried. This is going to become about by using those more natural and those gentle surfactants, but also combining them with some hydrating ingredients as well, just really balance it out. In terms of fragrance, there's going to be two options, a fragranced and an unfragranced version. That's because for me, I love the sensorial. I love my products to smell nice and give me a lift and a boost when I use them, but that's not for everybody, and so it's going to be giving people the option. Like I said before, you know, giving people the option of either pump or a dropper on most of the serums and their other products is a great option to give consumer choice. Similarly, to give people the option of the fragrance and unfragrance is something I hope more companies will actually do in the coming year. Now, let's move on to exfoliators. This is where it's at. I'm a huge advocate of exfoliation. I love the look of my skin after a really good exfoliation, how it leaves you feeling, a good exfoliation should leave you feeling not too dry and stripped, but it should reveal that gorgeous glowing skin. I used to go in hard and fast. I used to love my full strength glycolic acid, almost like peel strength, to really just strip back all those layers of dead skin cells. Then I realized sometimes we can be doing more harm than good, and actually using a real gentle exfoliator but over a longer period of time is definitely the way forward. So I'm full convert to the gentle, slowly approach when it comes to exfoliation. And we've managed to formulate a exfoliator which I think works for people who are already exfoliating their skin, but maybe want to try something a little bit different that's going to give great results, but in a gentle way, but also great for people who want to first beginner steps into exfoliation. I want you to come up with something that's gentle, will work beautifully on the skin, but also won't leave you stripped, dried, or too irritated. In this, we're combining some of the most gentle and amazing exfoliants. So you've got lactic acid, which is superb because it's got a large molecule size, so it's gentle, really effective, but in the right concentration, super gentle. It's also a humectant, so it's going to hydrate at the same time as exfoliate, so that's just going to offset any dryness. Going to also put some polyhydroxy acids in there. They're the most gentle of all the exfoliators. I find them super effective. You don't get that stinging, that irritating, that sort of like that prickly feeling when you use them, which is a sign that often the products we're using are a little bit on the strong side. This fantastic polyhydroxy acids get the work done, but they're super gentle and also quite nourishing to the skin. And then finally, we've got phytic acid. Phytic acid is just amazing. It's one of those underused, in my opinion, acids when it comes to minimizing the amount of stinging and irritation. So scientific studies have shown phytic acid actually is one of the least prickly and irritating of all the exfoliating acids on the market. It works very differently, but combined with these two will give a really great exfoliation with the absolute minimum redness, sensitivity, and irritation. It's like, I've tried it and I absolutely loved it. We've got a long way to go with this one to really like hone the formulation to make sure it's perfect, and then we can go out with trials and things like that. But so far it is just so gorgeous, and it really takes my love of the lactic acid, which I'm fangirling over at the moment, and just allows you to combine it with some other great acids. So total win-win. Now we're coming on to toner. Now I said in my original video there was no plan to release a toner. That's because I have a love-hate relationship with toners. I'm in favour of them, and then I think, I did just an extra unnecessary step. I have started using toners to really neutralise and reset the skin after an exfoliation. So you put your exfoliant on, it lowers the pH. That makes it really difficult to put some other ingredients into your skincare routine. Some ingredients such as peptides really don't like a super low pH, so it can be difficult to match them. Using a toner after an exfoliation will just help to rebalance, reset, and calm everything. I think a toner has to have a purpose, and I've created a gorgeous toner with a purpose. This is packed full of panthenol. I said panthenol was going to be one of the holy grail ingredients of 2021, and I hope I'm proved right because it's so fantastic. It calms, it soothes the skin, it really just gives your skin everything it needs, and is great vitamin. Also going to be throwing in allantonin in, which is another calming and soothing agent, which is fantastic, and amino acids. Amino acids are sort of the most skin compatible hydrators out there. So good. They leave the skin feeling nourished and smooth, but also also, because they're already present in the skin, there's not going to be any risk of irritation or sensitivity. So this is just going to give you everything you need, but it's not packed of hyaluronic acid. A lot of toners are just hyaluronic acid with a few added things thrown in there. That's quite a lazy formulation. I think we end up overdoing on the hyaluronic acid. This is your hyaluronic acid free toner that's going to give you gorgeous, calm, soothed skin, perfect for rebalancing the skin after an exfoliation. Great formulation for sensitive skin and just to calm and soothe everything down. Now, I had to moderate my expectations wildly when it came to serums. I wanted to do so many. I've got so many ideas of things I love and that I think I'm missing from my own skincare routine. Without having all the time in the world to develop all this, I had to stick to one serum. I thought this is a great opportunity to create a truly innovative and different one-size-fits-all, one-stop shop serum. So basically, those sort of serums which you can have in your skincare routine as your standalone serum and get everything done, but which you can also combine other serums in as well if you want a multi-active approach to your skincare routine. I think we've been able to deliver this with this skincare in one serum. So in here, you've got some hydrators, but you've also got a vitamin C derivative. You guys know I love my vitamin C derivatives. This is going to really help to bring back the luminosity and vibrancy to the skin, also boost collagen production, but without some of the sensitivity, redness and irritation you can get from pure form L-ascorbic acids. It's also going to have alpha-arbutin in there, which is also a great pigment corrector in the skin if you suffer with hyperpigmentation or discoloration. Even out the skin tone and bring back some vibrancy to the skin. It's also going to have peptides in there. Peptides are my ride or die product in my skincare ingredients. I love peptides. They not only hydrate, they nourish, but they also help trigger the production of collagen, and they can also have some balancing effects on the skin as well. This is a one-size-fits-all serum. You could use this as a standalone serum in your morning skincare routine and be good to go. In the evening, you might want to include a retinol and things, which takes a little bit more development and won't be coming out in any initial launch. But I think this serum will give people what they need in terms of all-in-one products. So if you're a fan of a multi-active serum, hopefully this will be like your holy glow-up grail. You put this serum on your skin and your skin will be glowing to the gods, feeling illuminated, but also it's got anti-aging benefits in there and hydrating benefits. It's like win-win-win, ding, ding, ding from the start. And I'd love to know what you think about it, so leave me a comment below. Finally, we're coming on to moisturisers. I've always said on this channel, moisturisers should be affordable, basic, and just seal everything in. You just want it to lock in all the great work you've done. Your skin should already be hydrated. It shouldn't need to add too much hydration to the skin, and it also shouldn't be too expensive, too bougie, or just adding too many extras in there. So we created a really basic moisturiser based on a nice whipped and light formulation that's going to be able to deliver a small amount of hydration, but really designed to just lock everything in and protect the skin. It's also going to have some great calming agents in case you have any irritation left over after your previous skincare routine, and it's going to be offered in a fragranced and an unfragranced version. Now, I've got a little confession to make. A lot of you are going to read me to filth because I said you should never launch a skincare routine or a skincare line without an SPF. That's because it's the most important part of your routine. If you don't have an SPF, there's no point actually doing any of the rest of your skincare because your skin is going to be exposed to damage. However, they are so difficult to formulate. I knew this going into this. I was doing it eyes open. I knew they were difficult, but I don't think I realized with all the current things going on in the world at the moment just how challenging it would be. So there is no chance of being able to formulate, test and approve a SPF in the time to be able to launch it this year, probably not even next year. And so I had to moderate my expectations. There are some amazing sunscreens out there which I've covered on this channel. I'll leave a link to some of my favorites up there. So check that video out for sunscreen. For me, I wish I would be able to launch with a sunscreen. I think it's super important. I would always say everyone needs it. But I think, again, we've got to moderate our expectations and, be humble enough to say, actually, maybe I was pitching too high when it came to that. And it's one of those things that we're going to have to look at down the line. So, you can read me to filth in the comments if you want me to total hypocrite. But maybe I have to moderate my stance. When people do launch, I still think it's lovely if you can launch like Fenty did with a sunscreen. But I don't always think it's possible. And so, you know what? Maybe I'm going to go a bit easier on brands that don't launch initially with a sunscreen because it's not always possible. I want to be able to launch this in as many countries as possible. Obviously, we've got a whole team actually going through some of the regulations and getting approval, and all that runs parallel with all the other work that's going on. So it's a super involved process, but there's a great team that's working on that. I hope to be able to launch in as many places as possible, but that does come down to some of the different regulatory environments in different places. So I'll be able to announce it later on, but the plan is to be as big as possible from the start, but I will have to announce that when we just cross some of the regulatory hurdles as we go along. Anyway, guys, I hope this has given you a sneak peek as to what's to come. I hope you're as excited as me. I am so gagged to be just fulfilling one of my life's ambitions. If this all falls flat, I spent a whole load of my own money, great, but I still fulfill my ambitions. And I think, dreams are there to be achieved. And whether it is a standout selling amazing skincare line, or it just falls flat, I think if we don't try, we'll never know. And I don't want to be one of those people that says, I was too scared to try. So in with both feet and let's hope for the best. I'd love to know your thoughts and feedback. So please leave me a comment below. If you have any positive or constructive criticism, I'm here to hear it. And wherever you are in the world, guys, I hope you're staying safe and well. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.